Charles Leclerc is widely regarded as one of the best drivers of Formula 1. On a Saturday in qualifying, Leclerc has been one of the top performers over the last few seasons. In total, he's achieved 22 pole positions throughout his career, but he's converted just 4 of these into race wins, with the other of his 5 coming from second on the grid. So is this worrying trend a reflection on Leclerc's talent, or is something else causing it? Let's have a look. My name's Andy, and this is Behind the Drive. Leclerc's qualifying talent. There's no doubting Charles Leclerc's qualifying prowess. Since he joined the sport in 2018, the Monegasque driver has had the upper hand on a Saturday compared to his teammates. Since joining Ferrari, the driver has taken 22 pole positions, but just 4 race wins from pole position. This represents just 18% of his pole positions being converted into race wins. By comparison, Max Verstappen has taken 30 pole positions in his career, and has converted 25 of those into race wins with an 83% pole to win conversion rate. In fact, for 11 of Leclerc's 22 pole positions, it's actually Verstappen that took the race win. In total, Verstappen has 51 race wins at the time of recording, and this shows that more than half of his total race wins have actually come from positions outside of pole, and when he's in pole position, he's likely to win as well. Outside of drivers with just 1 pole and 1 win, Verstappen has the highest conversion rate of any F1 driver in history and is a long way ahead of the next drivers in this statistic. Now admittedly, comparing Leclerc and Verstappen is difficult considering Verstappen has clearly had stronger cars than Leclerc through his career so far. But it is clear that while Verstappen is strong on both a Saturday and a Sunday, there has to be questions raised over Leclerc's ability to carry through his exceptional Saturday form into Sunday. Perhaps a better comparison for Leclerc is to Fernando Alonso. The Spanish driver is currently on the same number of pole positions as Leclerc through his career. Of those 22, Alonso has converted 14, which represents a 64% conversion rate. This is a huge difference compared to Leclerc. And again, the wins from outside pole position take Alonso's total wins to 32, showing once again that he's capable of moving forwards in the race as well when he isn't starting on pole. Of course, no comparison between 2 drivers being analysed over time is equivalent. However, the statistics aren't looking great for Leclerc's pole to win conversion rate. Having said this, Leclerc has never lost a qualifying head-to-head with his teammate, including 2 seasons against Sebastian Vettel and 3 seasons against Carlos Sainz. The Monegasque driver is typically in full control when it comes to one-lap pace, and it seems like he's the driver that can find the limit of what his car can achieve in qualifying without pushing it too much and using too much tyre or going beyond the limit. Having said this ability has caught Leclerc out on several occasions. He's gone beyond the limit at times, with some notable crashes including Azerbaijan in 2019, where his famous radio message of "I am stupid" originated, his 2021 final qualifying lap in Monaco, where his pole position was lost to a did not start because of damage caused by a lap that saw him hit the barrier at the swimming pool chicane, and even this year in Miami, when Leclerc spun off to end his qualifying early. These errors have been costly at times and shows that while the majority of the time Leclerc manages his car on a knife edge on a Saturday, his approach can be costly as well. There's no doubt that Leclerc's consistency in this department has improved as he's become more experienced in Formula 1, but to beat Verstappen in a championship right now, you have to be flawless. Leclerc is certainly one of, if not the best driver on the grid when it comes to qualifying. He's tough to beat over a single lap, and this should give him a significant advantage generally. There is perhaps an argument that could be made to say Leclerc's setups are more set for qualifying over the race, which given his ability to manage his car on a Saturday, you could argue he could be in a better position if he set up his car to be more tailored for the race, though this is much easier said than done, and his team has some part to play in that decision as well. Is Leclerc's worrying pole conversion rate actually caused by Ferrari? While the Red Bull team has been dominant in races this season, the team has been beatable in qualifying trip. On 7 occasions, non-Red Bull drivers have taken pole position at the time of recording, and 4 of these pole positions have come from Charles Leclerc, including at the last 2 races in Mexico and the USA. It's clear that the Ferrari car has exceptional one-lap pace, but when it comes to the races, they don't seem to be able to maintain that pace over the longer stints. This is a common challenge that Ferrari have been struggling with since the beginning of this new regulation set in 2022. So while Leclerc has failed to convert the vast majority of his pole positions in his career so far, the odds have been against the young Ferrari driver. The Ferrari team as a whole hasn't been the best in the sport for a long time. One of the criticisms of the team is the fact that they seem to not be learning from these errors. I would argue that the fact that the team is still facing these same issues with excessive tyre wear is a sign that they're struggling to understand the source of their issue and can't find a solution to it while also maintaining their one-lap pace. Of course, this isn't an easy problem for the team to solve, and it's clear that they're prioritising the pace of their car regarding the development. But their issue with tyre wear will continue to be a limiting factor in their ultimate goal of beating Red Bull. It's not just the car itself that's let Leclerc down though. Another widely discussed challenge that Ferrari face is their lack of strategic awareness. On several occasions, the team has seemed lost when it comes to strategy and have left Leclerc in vulnerable positions on several occasions once he's on pole. This is something that should be a solvable issue. The team can learn from their rivals and should be able to understand the relevant data required to make better strategic calls. An example of a strategic challenge that Leclerc has faced recently was in the USA, as he was kept on the one-stop strategy, which, given the tyre wear all the teams were facing on Sunday, was clearly not the optimum approach for any team, let alone one that typically suffers from high tyre wear. At that event, Pierre Gasly was talking to Leclerc on the grid, and teams shocked at the idea of Leclerc even going for a one-stop strategy at all. Of course, on that occasion, Leclerc's later disqualification from the event meant that the strategy was no longer relevant. But even so, the Monegasque driver finished 6th on track. A dreadful drop down the order from his pole position, and even his teammate, Carlos Sainz, managed to overtake him on track with the better strategy. In addition to both tyre wear characteristics and strategy issues, Ferrari has also had challenges in the pit lane. While this hasn't directly impacted Leclerc in terms of dropping out of contention for a race win in 2023, the fact that the team often makes errors in the pits with their cars definitely adds to the risk of the team's overall likelihood of delivering a race-winning car for Leclerc. Some incidents this year included a 9-second pit stop in Hungary, where the team struggled to get the rear left tyre onto his car, and also at the Dutch Grand Prix, where the team were caught out by the early rain and failed to have the tyres ready in time for Leclerc's car. Leclerc will surely have this in his mind when he lines up at the front of the grid in pole position. He knows that the team's strategic challenges and then issues with pit stops will be an area of weakness, and so might not have the complete confidence in his team to support him to convert pole positions into race wins. There's no doubting that Leclerc has superb talent when it comes to qualifying. The Monegasque driver is probably the driver I would pick on a Saturday if I had the choice out of the current 20 drivers on the grid, as he's able to get the most from his car. But World Championships are not won in qualifying. Last year, when Verstappen coasted to the 2022 World Championship, it was Leclerc that ended up with the most pole positions through the season. Yes, there were factors outside of Leclerc's control that do have an influence on this, as I've mentioned in this video, but there's a worrying trend with Leclerc that he seems to be able to deliver on a Saturday but not on a Sunday, and that may well leave him in the history books as a great driver that struggled to deliver the maximum points.